Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a happy New Year. First off, happy, merry New Year's, whatever you want to do. I know, blah blah blah. But 2024, we're fucking here, and Ashley's not here for this week, but we have Real Nice, aka Christian. Yeah, let's welcome him to the show.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Matt, Danny, thanings for having me, guys. Can't wait to meet Ashley when she comes around.
Yeah. No, next, dude. Like I said, next episode we'll have you on, and we'll have like a real ass, thing.
Cool.
But yeah, just give us like a quick little background, because you do have alter egos.
Mm-hmm.
You also have been doing this for like way longer than most people who are blowing up now have been doing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's crazy. So like,
just put this face down. All right. And so let me just expand on what you just asked. So most of you know me as Christian, but I started when it got into the music world as Real Nice, REALN1C3. And yeah.
So you've been making music since like
2014, 15-ish. Like really late 2014, early 2015, yeah.
Right. Okay, and then so at first,
and as you were saying, like, sorry to interrupt, but as you were saying, like alter egos, like those are like different aliases. Yes,
aliases,
have a
whatever.
few different
It's the same thing. Like with me, I like George.Daniel is not Danny. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like type shit. But when you were coming up and you were doing all your stuff and you were like first starting out, right?
Right.
When you did the Real Nice, like. Explain that part first, and then explain how you got.
Yeah, so I just wanted to find a name to. Like, I think if you dig onto SoundCloud, like my first name I put there was like X-Ray or something like that, right? And I was just like putting up productions that I made like at my place or at Zach's with his push and whatnot, and shout out Brownie Beats, that's Zach Brown, but
we'll have him on too.
We'll have him on in one of these episodes. You guys will catch him.
He's a fucking wild boy. He's a wild boy.
I'd love to dive
shout out to
that.
all my Norwegians,
my beautiful Scandinavians out there.
I had to really enunciate that one, dude.
I was saying, so like I was making music there, and then Real Nice came to me, and I was like, okay, cool. Like I'll put my production quality increased. I put out some music in there, and and it was really like I was putting out heavy things like trap sort of shit, a couple house songs here and there, and just like a lot of chill listen sort of stuff. But I've always had like a really deep passion about like house music, and then once I really started getting into like the intricacies of like what it takes to develop a house track that could be on Spotify or bang in the club or whatever the hell, right? I was like, cool. Now my production level's there. I've kind of found my flow in terms of like hopping into like Ableton or et cetera, whatever digital audio workstation you use, and like cranking something out, making it sound great, and then getting it polished and ready in like a couple weeks, right? Or whatever it may be, right?
Because one thing, I mean, for the listeners, like we do have we went to festivals together and everything, so that's why like sometimes I talk to people who we were like festival heads,
right?
Like it was disgusting. Like the amount of money that I just spent on tickets and everything was insane. But
I don't want to think about that. That I fucking
but
shit.
like those, but I tell people that I like to DJ festival music,
right?
Like I do spin house, but I spin it more like a festival, main stage type shit.
I mean, for example, one or two of the tracks that you put in there last night, and when you and me were going back to back, like there were some heavier tracks in there that you started throwing in.
I don't like if I'm DJing, I'm like I want to do something. I don't want to just
no, totally. Like you started bringing in breakbeat and just like heavier kind of shit. I'm like, dude, this is how you drive the direction.
My USB was working. It was so much fun,
dude. Oh my goodness, dude.
Okay, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But so you do the Real Nice thing, and then you start feeling comfortable with the house side of everything,
right?
And then so explain to us the name and everything that you chose.
Okay, so I went on with Christian.Serrato, Christian.Serrato, or specifically Chris.Serrato, right? And then
shout out,
check it out, guys. Yeah, but I'm kind of using that page as like that's gonna be like my really like I'm not gonna put anything on my Instagram or say like on the SoundCloud or anything that I don't like think or that I don't fully believe that will actually people would like, right, in terms of like house heads who are like will listen to a song and be like, oh like that's really good, I want to throw that in my sets or hit him up or say what he's doing or whatever, right? On Real Nice I treat more so like I just throw clips
personal
up.
Page.
Yeah, it's exactly like my personal. I just throw like works up there, just things in different genres and just like so different ranges of taste, right? And I kind of use that more so like throwaways kind of stuff.
But
when I come up with like a good house track, I'm like, yes, this like fits Christian.Serrato and just like or the house scene or whatever, like or the shit that I want to play now, like boom, I'll play it out there. Yeah.
Right.
I do that.
Okay, so I mean, touching base on that. So like, how did you, or like, at what point did you, like did the dots connect where you thought like you needed to do Real Nice and then another,
or when I just to open that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, so a lot of people are starting to associate the name Real Nice with like they're starting to associate it with like my Twitch, with like the just little clips and videos, the different communities I'm in Discord and different parts of the internet, right? So I kind of saw that more so like this is where I put my like there is music involved there, I put up throwaways and whatnot, but it's also a big connection to like my media sort of stuff,
right?
Like streams, maybe like. What is it when fucking vlogs? Yeah, vlogs though. Like when me and Brownie for like vlogs recorded, we're getting ready to push those out on YouTube and stuff like that.
Right.
So
no, because that's where I think I kind of like fucked up a little bit. Is I had my Danny Instagram and then I started DJing and then I just changed it to my artist one.
Right.
So like now it's like
not
it's not a bad move because I already had X amount of followers,
Right.
blah blah blah,
Right.
all this other shit. But also with that, like it made my Instagram or my socials now
Right.
just like a hub.
Right.
Like
Yes.
everything goes on there.
Yes.
Flyers, memories,
Right.
photos of my family now.
Right,
Like
yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
right? Which is why I kind of like the podcast because it's way more streamlined and it's just like you know what you're gonna get when you go on there.
Right.
And I think that's really good that you are separating the two.
Yeah. It's almost like a little organizational thing for myself. Like
Right.
I got my personal, and then I have like the Real Nice, which is like in the middle where I like put throwaways and connect with people, Twitch Sphere, YouTube Sphere, whatever, and like other Twitch streamers and stuff, right? And then Christian.Serrato is gonna be like, where I might talk to some guys from like Night Base, Dirty Bird, blah, etc. Right? But just that the house world, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's sick. That's actually really smart. And like, yeah, like I think that like I wish I did that earlier, but at the same time, I'm glad I didn't in some weird way because now like I'm forced to be this person that I'm expressing to be.
Got you.
In like a weird way, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I mean, yeah, it's almost like you gotta carry it. Not so necessarily like a brand or a facade, but I'm saying like people know what they're gonna get when they go to George.Daniel, right?
Well,
and
like
so,
my thing is like I and like not some like on kind of I guess on some like Ready Player One shit where it's just like this is my avatar. Like, like this is who I need to be. Like,
Right.
this is like everything that like what you see is what you get. And
Right.
I am the same person,
Right.
like, but I'm not going to tell you how sad I am, online.
Yeah.
I'm gonna I'm not going to show you that
Right,
side of everything,
right.
And like, yeah, it's I think it's super healthy doing it, like spreading everything out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that you're able to put a bit of your personal life, or just like you just taste of you on that page, right?
That's why I really wanted to do these podcasts. Was like I'm already putting myself out there way more than these other folks have to because they created an account where they can just do their music thing there.
Totally, dude.
My account is my everything.
Dude, yes, and it's also good. I think that's good. Another way I think that's good though is because that like people will because a big part of just like selling yourself is like whatever you are, a musician, a streamer, in any of those like new online facets of media that people are getting big in and creating a steady form of income to sustain themselves, right? A huge part of that is like your personality, dude, or just like like what kind of person you are just when you're just chilling and whatever. And so like people grow an attachment to that, and they're like not only do I like what you make and like hear like into like that side of it, but like I fuck with you in general. Like I want to be your friend. And so like, they're willing to, put more of their resources to get into your stuff or whatever it may be. Like, I think go to your shows, right?
They're okay. Like, DJs are like football players because like football players, you don't know their face, but you know their name.
Right.
DJs are the same way.
Right. Same with actors, maybe, right?
No, actors, all you know is their face.
Yeah.
And you maybe not know their name.
Right.
Right? So I guess that's the vice versa of it.
Right.
But like that's what I notice is DJs don't blow up until people like them. John Summit blew up because he was the White Claw daddy.
Oh yeah, dude. The way he approached in his team or whatever approached like
He
the
had
branding
no
part of
team.
it. Oh,
Dude,
he
had
was
no
like
team.
the white party boy who was like, would post like these ridiculous things on Twitter and Snapchat or whatever he posts, right? And people would be like, oh my god, he's so crazy. He loves to bring the party, and he's bringing like the modern sort of like tech sound or whatever, right?
He reminds me a lot of what happened to Matt Rife in the comedy scene this year.
Matt Rife.
He's just like this pretty white boy who does comedy and all this other stuff. Like they're both, one, really good at the internet, two, understand the zeitgeist and what words to use,
right?
And then also like the art is there,
the buzzwords and whatnot. Yes.
Well, I mean, just like whatever it is, like, but yeah, it's just super. I like to study people.
Psychology is interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
All right, but okay, so I guess speaking of 2024 and whatnot, what are your goals for
2024?
Yeah.
Well, on the so for the first block, say the first month, I'll look at it right in January. I'm gonna get like my Spotify established. I maybe iTunes or Apple. I don't know how easy it is to get into there. Like if you've got like this brand and like these your original tracks, right?
Right. I'm pretty sure it's the same process as
probably.
Spotify.
It's probably just like if you fill out a page or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I already know like some smaller local artists who are on Apple Music and on Spotify and whatever. Like it's rappers especially. Like for example, like Trauma Fresh. Trauma Fresh is a rapper out of Southside San Jose. I went to high school with the dude. He was a class behind me, and he's putting out bangers. It's just like amazing, like sort of Bay influence
DJs
sort of sound and shit.
have SoundClouds and I mean not SoundClouds, fucking like Spotify and Apple.
Yeah, no, totally.
It's really not that hard.
Exactly. I tried to go through the process last year with like REALN1C3. I tried to go through that, but I don't know. I didn't like really like follow through or like get to the point where because there was a form I had to fill out and then there was like
all there is
a lot of samples I needed to clear and stuff too.
You just need a distributor. Add that to like. Upload your song or whatever to the distributor. Right. Then the distributor is gonna be like, "This is gonna be your cut. This is your sample." Like blah blah blah.
Yeah, like I was looking into some fucking distributing companies called I don't know, I forget, DistroKid or just other things like that, right? Like
I think they're done.
Oh, like they're not around anymore.
I think I could be wrong, and I'm not gonna Google
stuff
it.
That happened in 2020. And
yeah.
The fucking the art side or just the revenue that industry was bringing in, maybe.
Yeah.
But, I don't know if you have recommendations for me for the people to go to, but I know we can talk about that later. But I mean, I'm gonna look into like sort of a good distribution service or whatever that can.
But I mean, I think at this point now your route needs or should be going through a label.
Yeah,
so like and maybe not signing to a specific label because then you're gonna pigeonhole yourself.
Totally.
But like just release singles,
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah, like maybe touch base with like I don't know, like just different house labels, right? Say like, yo, do you think this sound? Would you guys like to release this? And that's a great way for people to be like, oh shit, like boom, like right.
I mean, there's always like with Kenny, and that's Tall Doors.
Kenny Beats. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then
I love Kenny Beats and I love what he does on Twitch, how he connects it to his music and he has his own brand and flow going. Just like he's awesome. Organically pumps out content. I love Kenny Beats for that, dude. Like
no. But and then there's also like Dem 2. They're also like local but also blowing up and they were on the podcast as well. Check out that episode.
Okay, for sure.
But also just little things that are, I mean, you can just hit up like smaller labels. And like with them too and Bump and Grinds, like they do free releases every week. So it would be easier, I guess, to get through there. Totally. To get your toe, or dip your toe in.
So I'd love to touch base with like other record labels to like get a few singles out or whatever, right?
Right.
But like nothing binding yet, where they're just like, oh, we need this three EP trip from you.
I personally feel that sometimes like artists like literally they sign too quick. And I'm using like I guess DJs and like electronic artists as an example specifically, just because like you sign to a label and then that label that you sign to already has like notoriety in this niche house thing, like Dirty Bird had a niche sound, and now Claude's doing bass music. Right. You know what I mean? Fucking, what do you, as a person who's on that label, now what happened?
For heavy shit?
He went from Claude to his real name, Barkley Crenshaw.
Barkley Crenshaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like you're like now those people on Dirty Bird, I'm like, I would be kind of concerned.
Yeah.
Because now the sound that I'm making isn't what the owner of the label is doing.
Right.
So how much effort? And also I don't know the intricacy of the label or anything, but this is just how I think.
Right.
So like if he's not focused on the sound that I'm doing, what the fuck? I'm signed to I have to drop 3 more EPs or whatever. The fuck, until I'm out of my contract.
I mean, I'm sure. I think Claude is like keeping the Dirty Bird sort of like that brand or whatever. He's keeping it like in the house lane for sure.
He
right?
left San Francisco. He went to LA.
Okay, gotcha. I
mean, I'm also just bitter that he took away the quarterlies. He's not doing camp out anymore.
Oh no, the barbecues and all that.
I'm just bitter. But
But he found a calling in another.
Shout out.
No, Claude's awesome. Right? He found a calling in a different lane of sound. And he wanted to establish himself there too.
He provided literally like producers, DJs, live, everything. Dirty Bird is and Dirty Bird and Nightbase are like is like my if they were to marry, that would be me.
Oh, dude, I was thinking like honestly like what if Dirty Bird and Nightbase had like a joint house event and it was called Nerdy Bird or some shit like that. Like Nightbase, those tech sort of like they know the intricacies of production and shit, and you get like the Dirty Bird dude, so it's like Nerdy Bird or some shit. I don't know.
But it would be like, dude, it would be I don't know. But yeah, that's like that's why I always tell artists like who are newer, right? Who are just trying to get seen. Right. Like, dude, just spread your seed around, have a single here, have a single here.
Totally, yeah.
Because
don't be afraid to release singles or get in touch with like people who have established like coverage, right?
And also you never know who's listening.
Totally. In terms of like, for example, we're talking about Nightbase and Dirty Bird, like Claude Von Stroke, AC Slater, just like in the connect and the relationship that those people have who are in that collective or that releasing songs together, like they have great relationships, and I'm sure they try to keep it as like like obviously there's professionality to it as well, but like it's not so much as in like in the way of where you're like a big pop artist and like like the head of like UMG or whatever, like Universal Music's like knocking on your door like why haven't you sent me the songs yet?
Right. Yeah, but like even like I think any label has that pressure though. If you are set to have if you sign that, if you're set to have a release, you're set to have a release,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you fuck up, I guess like in some way you fuck up like marketing for not just your shit, but the next person's shit.
Yeah, that's true.
That either means that their shit's gonna get backed up, or they have to speed their thing up to be released.
Yeah, so I mean, if you reach out with a label and say like, I have this single and I want you guys to see what it does in your spectrum of sound, and it's ready.
I know people who get a song signed and then it won't be released for another 5 months.
I mean, that's good because sometimes like the label will have to think about we have this product, we have this new name. How are we gonna incorporate it into our brand? And like really make it so like
I like in the like the difference between I guess like a rapper or a singer is with DJs they can test their music. You can't really test your music as a rapper, because then like how many like I've been to countless concerts where an artist is releasing a song, like he's like I'm gonna release a song tomorrow, like blah blah blah, and then people were just staring at him because they were like I can't get hyped, like I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I have never heard this,
like that meme or that rapper, the DJ constantly posting the stories, big things coming,
but link in bio also,
don't sleep.
But yeah, I think that's cool. Your goals are to release more songs and just kind of like get in it.
So the first month of January, I wanted to like maybe touch base with a couple of labels, right, and just be like, yo, like you guys would be interested in like taking this single, maybe putting it places. I wanted to get in people's ears, right, and so talk it out or whatever, and then cool, like, we'll arrange something for that single, right. And if my name gets out there and blah blah blah, and if it was a nice process and then I liked it, what we've gotten so far, right, I'll be like, we might release something with them, right? But I really want to like establish like eventually just sort of like a thing for myself, almost like a content sort of center or like a record label, but like not really, like because just like a content sort of like a streamline where people can directly go into it, get the art, the samples, production lessons, whatever maybe to want to learn through me or get from me the product that I have, and have like a website or there's a place they could go to, right? I want to keep the circle small and have like, closer homies, UI, Hunter, That Music, Kenny Coriato, San Germain, Brownie Beats, et cetera, et cetera. To like, we'll have this little circle going on, and then, and then add another ring to the circle and say like, now that the common person it's a public domain. I'm a music lover or someone who wants to get into production, and like what the sound that like this sort of like, name or brand is putting out is like really cool. And I like what the tools they have to offer. Right. And then, and then from there, it's more so going to be like, I don't want to, like, anyone who wants to contribute to the art that they throw towards this thing, I'm not going to bind them. I'm not going to do like that kind of shit. Like nothing like that. It's going to be more so like, I know you as a person. I fuck with you as a person. Like put a mix out through here because it's got like some eyes on it. And then they do like, if in the process, like, if we monetize it in a good way, I will show you like the strict fucking numbers. Like I'll pull it up, like this is how much revenue that you've made from like, this things that you've put in here. And like obviously they're getting a massive cut of it. Like, I'll maybe get like 10 or less or whatever the fuck, right? Like I want them to really start to establish themselves financially through a form of art and get their name out there as well. So eventually they can do that shit themselves, or like they're just being independent artists, right? Because so many DJs and artists getting into the business side of it, they're very ignorant, or just like not ignorant isn't like they don't know the full like how record labels work, all the little different like joints that go up, like they get the money and then like how much are they distributing to you, right? Like there's and then they start understanding it later down the line.
Well, I've had Foley on here and he has so many releases. Shout out Foley, he's had a crazy ass year and everything.
Foley's dope.
But like I broke down the numbers with him on that and the Christmas episode last year. And like I asked him, I'm like, okay, you're putting out a song on Beatport for $129,
right?
Beatport is already taking 15% of that. Then next thing you know, the label's gonna take another X amount, and then your manager is gonna take 10%.
So those last two X's, like label manager, basically I'm trying to cut that out. Right. Releases.
But so you're just a distributor at that point.
Exactly.
Right?
But like, when it gets there, right? I really I'm legitimately, I mean, I'll start an LLC probably February around that trimester, the financial trimester of the year. But yeah, so yeah. Anyway, as you're saying,
that seems. I think it's dope that you're trying to do the business side of everything. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And like that's your goal.
Right. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Yes. Like to completely understand and just like know everything about the business side and how that is moving on like my end. Right. But again, like we touched earlier, like touching, going to bigger labels, established labels. And if they're down to, put out a couple singles for you, like, I don't know, for example, like Wax Motif, when he went to Night Base and put out a remix or whatever, he came into the scene globally with the house. Right. And, I don't know if he's put out anything recently there, but like now he has no name for himself, and he dropped like fucking A1 and like those other tracks, and everyone was like, whoa, right?
Yeah, and, I don't know. 2024. I don't know. I'm such a morning person, So the beginning of the year is my favorite time of the year because I feel like there's so much potential.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Everyone's on that fresh start sort of mentality, looking for new things.
I'm pumped. Also, like we mentioned it a little bit last episode of like I'm gonna be doing a lot more content and things like that, and reaching out to other content creators. I think that's where I was missing, where I felt like even though it's a world of like people doing this thing online, I felt alone.
Right. Yeah.
Trying to do this. Right. And I just didn't understand how to really. Or like I thought I was like I'm reaching out to people, right? Blah, 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 but they're not in this, or they don't even like consider this really, right. And like that's what I like. My goal is to like reach out and like team up with people and do a bunch of things. That's the goal for 2024.
Nice. Yeah, dude. Like sending DMs to like an artist or something or whatever, maybe, or someone like that who's like
no, dude. I'm trying to like link up with people who do Twitch.
Oh,
maybe they don't do YouTube, but they do Twitch, and like dude, just like other things like that.
I could send some people your way, bro.
Right. Yeah. But it's 2024. And in the wait, Matt, what are your goals?
Yeah, man.
I don't really know. I mean, I guess try to get my podcast thing kind of going again.
Hell yeah.
But under a different format. But yeah, I don't really know.
High Times with Matt, right?
Yeah.
That was that was dope. That was a dope vibe.
Yeah. I wanted to make it kind of a little quicker and a little shorter.
And I'm sure, like, over this past year, you guys have, like, ironed down a bit of, like, how the process of, like, how we start recording, the angles, all
Definitely,
this stuff.
yeah,
No, for sure. This is a very.
But no, I mean, of course, always the production side of it. I just want to definitely get better and learn a little bit more about all, like, the After Effects and like, animation and stuff like that, so I can kind of create intros.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all just kind of funnels back to just this kind of thing. Which is, but yeah.
You use Pro Tools for
I use Premiere Pro, yeah.
Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yep.
Pro Tools is an audio thing.
Yeah, I was like, damn, Matt's fixing the back. He's out there.
Matt's also cooking tracks in the background, guys.
Yeah. That's hella funny. But dude, 2023, right? To wrap things up, it's been it's been a year. You know what I mean? Like it's been like there's the highs are high and the lows are low, right? Prices are fucking sky high for everything. But at the same time, like even though like everyone feels broke, it seems like everyone's still doing shit. You know what I mean? Like creatively, anyways. Yeah. Like I feel like people are like, I maybe this is just my inner circle and my world and people who I surround myself with. But everyone like, maybe you're not doing it at the most highest production, but you're doing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
totally.
like that's so fucking tight. I think like I think 2023 we realized how as citizens we're supposed to produce for ourselves.
Yes.
You know what I mean? 100%. Like I think a lot of people that finally click where you see a lot of small businesses, like blah blah blah. People are like or trying to do something else, like a side hustle, maybe because they have to, right? Because it's fucking
And in today's world, bro, like there's so many more lanes where people can just like create just like a little following or whatever for themselves, whether it be on Twitch, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on kick.com, whether it be on shout out OnlyFans. Literally women have become millionaires through OnlyFans, like straight up, like
shout out to you guys. I paid a couple meals. Shout out.
Hey, spoil the couple here or whatever, but hey, because I just respect for the hustle, it's a form of art. Guys will consume it no matter what. They found an independent lane for like, for people to get a little more personal and in touch with those kinds of people. Yeah. And that extra factor will be like, hey babe, like spoil me. And there's some fucking dude with like a fucking crypto card who doesn't give a fuck, and he's like,
what do you mean? I don't have a crypto card.
Just like those people who have like, the fuck you money, right?
Yeah,
the fuck you money.
Dude, there was this guy. There was this guy who spent like $64,000 on Ruby Rose.
Oh my god.
And then he went on a podcast and they were like, so like, why'd you do it? Yeah. Right. And he's just like, I have.
Right. Like that amount, it just wasn't a thing to him. Right.
But like in our heads, we were like, oh, it's just some fucking dweeb who's like jerking off in his mom. That's what everyone, assumes. Right. But it's just this guy who's like, I got the money.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, damn, dude. Like, all right. Good for you.
Yeah, for sure. He's probably like, didn't really take a toll on my total, how I could end it at the end of the year or whatever. Right. Yeah.
And then like, but speaking of Ruby Rose a little bit, I guess, she does some music, I guess. Did you do your Spotify rap?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I did do my Spotify.
Okay. Obviously, everyone's first artist is Drake, right?
A lot of people's first artist.
And it's almost weird if you don't have him on your top 5.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to like tap into astrology for a second or whatever, like he's a Scorpio or whatever the fuck, it's kind of funny because like I just listen to the way he like fucking talks about himself and blah blah blah, and like I don't know, there's something not to limit it to like people who are listening who are Scorpios will be like, oh, I'm a Scorpio, right? No, but like just like he has that mentality. It's like you are a boss or whatever. Like I am a boss, like whatever the hell. And just men love listening, or women too, because he has some smooth fucking R&B cuts, right? Who are like amazing for fucking sexy time and all this shit, right? He's able to get to the lane of like putting out some hard shit and that you can fucking pull up to in the club pregame with your boys. Also some shit that's like internet, like fucking Take Care and that project and all that, right? Yeah, dude, shout out Aubrey.
Yeah, dude, he's also like, I mean, just like to keep talking about Drake a little bit, like he is the only major artist who released multiple times this year. He released, I mean, technically he released 2 albums. Yeah. But the second one was a double. Yeah. Later on, honestly, so much better than like I needed those last 4 tracks.
Did he release the EDM one too?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
yes.
the first
Okay,
one.
that was the
That
first
was
one,
with
right?
Gordo.
Yeah, honestly, never mind. He did with Gordo, or
Yeah.
formerly DJ Carnage.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, dude, I loved Carnage. I need Carnage to come back.
Dude.
Like, dude, if he does a small summer tour as Carnage, dude,
Yeah.
just
a lot of heads.
My God,
I saw
Like,
Carnage out in at San Jose State like in 2015 or something, or 16. I want to say. But, like,
yeah. San Jose State at the fucking whatever it's called.
Yeah. Yes. Their event center there.
Well, was that for Electric Bounce House? No, that was just his rare tour. He brought out Young Thug.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw Jeffrey there, dude. I literally they were switching artists or whatever. So,
Yeah.
they turn on the main lights and
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, they're playing a Young Thug song, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, but I'm not facing the stage.
Right.
I'm like talking to Arjun. I was with
Right.
Arjun.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a fucking hilarious story about that night. Yeah. But literally, like, I was talking to Arjun, and I'm like, he's singing Best Friend, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, I turn around, and it's him, and I just turn back around with the happiest face, or the happiest look on my face, just like, oh my God, it's Young Thug. It's hella funny. But, dude,
Wait, Young Thug popped up in the crowd? Like,
no,
by
he
you?
was on stage. Like,
Oh,
he was
God.
one of the. I didn't realize because I think he was doing like secret guests for that tour. And yeah, Young Thug popped out of nowhere. I was like,
that's dope. Okay, that's
I mean, he
very
did like
dope.
only
Yeah,
15 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, Young Thug, shout out, free Thugga, dude,
Yeah.
free Jeffrey. First off, that's also something that happened in 2023, dude. Nah, fuck that, dude. Free Jeffrey, that's the boy. I don't care if you someone.
I think my coolest experience. Oh my God. I think my coolest experience at like a rap show or something like this, like I was at Hard Summer 2016.
Yeah.
And Lil Uzi Vert was like playing his set or whatever. And you know how this is like an electronic music kind of centered like festival, right? Obviously Hard Summer.
Uzi's really good at that though.
Yeah, like Uzi's able to, he obviously has the people show up for him to come listen to Uzi,
Well, he's
right?
a festival artist.
Yeah.
He makes festival music.
Oh yeah, the energy that he brings to like his music and shit, like he's able to do that. But like in some form, like sometimes the way he performs live, or maybe the setup he had there, like the energy wasn't exactly there at the time slot that he had, and like at the stage that he had. Right, he was much smaller. He blew up way more after that Hard Summer. It was crazy, but like. He was kind of like just like walking around, reading the crowd or whatever, and then he literally walked off stage in the middle of his set. And then just started walking up to the stands, like by the food stands and stuff, and by the porta potties. And everyone's like, dude, everyone in the crowd's like, where did Uzi go, bro? Where did Uzi go?
Yeah.
And in the back of the crowd, who was just like kind of wondering what was going on, but like whatever. It was me, Hunter, I think it was like Jordan Moore and Kern, I want to say. There might have been one more person there. But so like
Shout out Zephyr.
Yeah, shout out Zeph, dude. He's amazing future bass producer. But dude, the and producer in general. But dude, yeah. So that like we're just like wondering like, where the fuck did he go, or whatever. And then all of a sudden there's this lamp post. Literally, so I'm standing right here. It's probably like over here to us. And then we see this like foot hop on it, and someone climb on it. And we turn around, and it's little Uzi Vert like right next to us over there, and he's just like yelling into the mic. And
all 4 feet of him.
Yeah, all 4 gorgeous feet of him, right? Fucking. Turn around and like obviously the crowd started pushing, like, and we were literally like right in front of him, right? They started pushing to where he was, and it was just something he wasn't afraid to do, to just be like, dude, I'm gonna just like spice shit up and just like whatever, and become part of the group a little.
He's like, I'm a rock star. I'm not a rapper.
Exactly, like all this shit that he does when he jumps off of like.
One of my favorite interviews was when he was talking to Ebro, and he was like, Ebro was like, oh, so you're gonna spit some bars for us, like blah blah blah. He's like, I'm not gonna spit over some old ass beats that you're gonna put on, like blah blah blah. He was like, no, like I'm not gonna do that. Like people don't want me to do that. I don't want to do that. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, I mean, you're a piece of shit. You don't like your history, a little bit, your rap history, blah, blah, blah. But like, still, like, I respect the individualism.
He knows his audience, yeah.
But yeah, okay, like, dude, my Wrapped this year, my Spotify Wrapped, literally was only Mexican artists. Oh, dude. Like, it was, this is the first year where hour by hour, I listened to, like, 60,000 hours worth of music on Spotify or whatever, or something like that, and 40,000 of it was probably spent listening to Mexican music. Dude, like I have not been consuming I listen to it like if it once it's released, but like it usually doesn't get added to my playlist anymore. It's crazy. Dude, I don't know if it was like that switch where I was so I was consuming so much of like EDM that like. Finally, a new sound came out. Shout out Peso Pluma. Shout out all those fools. But like, it was just like, dude, it was crazy. Like, it was.
There was a lot of stuff happening in the Latin American music world in like the past couple of years too.
Dude, I mean, just in general. Like, I mean, like specifically talking about Mexican shit though. Like Mexicans have like infiltrated like the zeitgeist way more than just our food.
Right.
You know, like now it's like, oh, it's music, it's swag, it's this, it's that. Like everyone who's wearing those like the hats with the like the rooster or the bull or something like that. Like you'll see all of those, but that's a narco shit. Like like yeah, that's like on some like Mexican shit. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah. I like it was really like as a like looking back at it, like kind of like psychoanalyzing myself. I was like, dude, I like touch, and my Spanish is so much better because of it. And like shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I have some Spotify artists that were like that I've listened to a lot. Like, you know, I also listen to a lot of music. I love Aventura, like Juan Carlos Quintero is like a Spanish guitarist who's like, you know, he's in his like classical music scene, and you know, people who are like, you know, guitarist appreciations are young all the way to like people who are 60, 70, 80.
Different patterns or like sounds and sonics and all this shit is like made me like re-love house music. Yeah, like when I do listen to it, totally. Then I'm like, oh shit, like like I'll like even midway through someone's set, I'll just be like, damn, dude, this sample from this one song, like a 3-second clip, added to it, looped would be crazy, dude, you know, just like little things like that. Dude, but yeah, and another thing that I consumed a lot in 2023, I guess, according to my therapist, is porn. Nice. I think I sent you an email. But dude, literally, it's
shout out your dopamine receptors.
It is just so crazy to see like the numbers, because they also break it down to like state by state. Yeah, and everything, and like you sometimes don't realize like what states are.
I really want to look at the stats, dude.
Dude, yeah, we're pulling it up right now.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I've talked to some like creators. Yeah. I've talked to some creators who are like in the OnlyFans space and stuff too.
On the pod.
Over here. That's dope.
Yeah. Dope. I wanted to really like break everything down. Right. You know, like, and just be like, all right, well, even if you do make $3,000 a month, which is really good. Yeah.
Passive income.
Or how much does OnlyFans take? You know, like what, like 30%? Yeah. You know, so from there, you're, like you know, like it's 20 or it's 2,100, right? And then what? And then like now that's not a lot, right? You know, like And I saw your cooter, you know, worth, like you know what I mean? And it was like, dude, like I mean, like don't get me wrong, it's cool and it's awesome and do your thing and get your bag and all that shit. Yeah, totally. But I was just like, damn, like I want to know like the. Like I don't really care about major artists in any field because I know you're amazing at what you do, right? Yeah, and you got there for a reason, right? But there's so many like struggling, scratching artists that where I'm like, okay, well, you could just like maybe do it another way, or you know, like
for sure, or like, dude, for example, like people in the Twitch world, right? There were some like, you know, what there's like a certain names who are like, you know, like Amaranth is one, for example. Alinity is another one, for example. Shout out to those two beautiful women, but like they started their communities on Twitch, right? And then, you know, obviously, like, you know, they're wearing what, you know, the thumbnails get people and whatnot, right? It's like, oh, it's this beautiful girl wearing like a low cut top and she's playing Just Dance or like fucking watching reality TV or whatever, right? So you get fucking this massive crowd of people coming in with what they call in that community, they call them coomers, which are just people who are like, you want to come in and fucking just look at you and just say shit like, dude, oh, how do you like it, babe, or whatever, like whatever.
On fucking TikTok, I'll be scrolling on like lives just to see what like randoms are doing, type shit, right? Yeah. And then, dude, at some point, there's like a girl just sleeping.
Yeah, dude. The algorithm will know.
She's just sleeping, and then like people were like tipping and like blah 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 and like all this shit.
And you got like some dude said
it's like it has to be like a fetish, obviously. But like
for sure. There's dudes like probably in the comments of the chat of the live saying like, what would you guys do if you walked in there right now? Yeah, like shit like that, right?
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't in the comments like that, you know, but the comments were rolling. Like that's the craziest thing. Oh yeah. Because also like I mean like to say in like the streaming world, like Kai had a crazy ass year this year.
Kai had an amazing year.
Like like and also XQC, with the Uzi thing and everything, you know, like dude,
he's had a big ass artist. Just
he went to jail
because you know the thing that shit that went down in New York
because he just because he said he was gonna be somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's I think the last person who had that type of like pull is maybe Messi after the World Cup, which also happened in 2023. But dude, like, it's crazy. Like, people don't get mobbed like that.
Yeah.
You know, like Taylor
dude.
Swift can still walk in a stadium and she's gonna get bombarded maybe, but like not really.
Yeah.
Like
for example, there was a stream where Kai and XQC both went to Universal Studios together, and it was like an IRL stream where they had like, you know, a camera behind them and they just kind of filmed their day and whatever. They just did the shit they normally do. Every fucking second there was like a fucking circle of kids who were like Gen Zers or just whatever, right? Or just like, you know, people who knew them, right? Asking them for pictures like every 30 seconds. Like they had to have security there to like, you know, stop people from like, you know, huge groups of people just following them and stuff.
Right.
And
I mean, at that point, I think they're so rich that they could just like literally like, hey, let me buy out the park, right? For 3 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have an extra like 200 people come through who are fans, right? We'll take a picture and then just have the day.
They for sure had like this special like VIP.
I mean, 200 people for a park, you won't even see that many people.
Yeah.
But still, like, there's still gonna be kids following them, right? Like for their stream or whatever, it still looks like there's people there.
There's a specific,
it's artificial, I guess, you know, blah blah blah. But you can't just be walking around like that, dude. Like, oh, dude,
like
crazy.
There was this guy, or like a stream sniper is what they call him, when people like will do IRL streams, and there's this guy who like will follow them and like try to make content for them or annoy them or whatever. Right. I don't know if you've heard of the Bill Clinton kid or whatever the hell. He's just he's like some like 12 or 14-year-old kid who like gets on a podcast where like Tate would go and shit like that.
Is he the like he talks
like
funny?
He's like, do you read any books?
Oh yeah,
that guy. Name 10 books when he's talking to this OnlyFans girl or whatever. That kid. He like popped up on XCC and Kai's stream like multiple times. The last time he came, he was like in a Mario like incognito costume and like tried to like walk up to them, and security got really pissed at him at that point. Was to figure out who he was. Kai was like, nah, get him away from us. No, like do something. Like, get this guy away from us.
He's just a walking leech.
You know? Yeah. Like, I mean, that's how he started his brand online.
I mean, also he's a child, so like I get it. You're gonna do dumb shit. Do it now before you get punched in the face. You know, you're lucky. It's like
connecting back to like the OnlyFans though, like Alinity and Aaron specifically, like they already had like, you know, millions of followers on Twitch or whatever, and there was already guys who like were wishing like, right, you know, what if I were able to see more of her, right?
Also, like, what do you think those tips are on Twitch for?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not because you're play good at the game.
Yeah. Oh, I got $100 tip like, from this guy with like a bunch of hearts. Like, she wants your attention, and she's gonna like. And also, there's this thing that girls will do, like, if you donate a big amount or donate like 100 subs or something, she like writes your name on her body and shit like that. Okay. You know, and it's like, you know, or they put like this balloon wall behind them, and like your name goes up there, right?
Yeah. So it's the same thing that like, I mean, like,
parasocial stuff, you know.
Because like people who become like followers of people Patreon, like at the end of the episode, their names will come up. You know, like I've seen podcasters do shit like that and all this other stuff.
Yeah, they'll even be considered like, I guess, the people that donate a bunch executive producers.
Yeah.
That's why when I see on like Nadav's, it says executive producer this episode. I'm like, he's got that many executive producers. I'm like, no, these are just the high.
These are like Patreon supporters. Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess like they support what they do and are able to make it better after that. But like, executive producer, it's a stretch. For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's
but it's just like a fun name. Like, there's.
Oh, they probably add that to like this Patreon tier. You get to be an executive producer at the end of like my fucking videos, right?
Because Are You Garbage? They have like the homies and family, I think, or something like that. Friends and fam or something like that. And it's just like they just name their shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Patreon's a great sort of like Patreon, Fiverr, different platforms like that are really good for artists to like also get little things out there like that too and monetize it in a way, right?
Yeah. It's crazy what I found out you could do in order to just make a living.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And then
it's work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people like, that's the one thing that I think people don't understand with the internet. Yes, you can blow up off of one video. But then like to do that consistently, like you're only as good as your last video.
Right.
And like that's the scariest part. And like I think because like with Kai, right? He does all these live streams and everything. But at any given point when he does his 24-hour live streams with Nicki Minaj, Take Off, with all these other people, if they say the wrong thing, like he gets banned. You know, also, I mean, at this point, he takes the hit. I mean, at this point, he has a relationship with Twitch, so like, there's going to be a little more leeway or whatever.
Kai is Twitch's golden child.
Yeah. Like it's crazy. He had 1 million, like, or no, 100,000 people, or something like that.
It was like 500, bro.
Oh, something crazy. It was something crazy.
He broke a record. He broke a record. Yeah.
Like, dude,
of concurrent viewers.
I don't like the super like. or playoff games for football don't get those numbers.
Yeah.
You know, like that's crazy.
Yeah, and Amazon Prime does have a channel on Twitch where they'll broadcast like, you know, football games. Yeah,
right.
Even on big ones like that, sure, they'll get a decent number, but like not those numbers.
Yeah, it's and he's just one dude.
Yeah.
You know,
it's pretty cool how Kai like started to like, you know, just his personality or whatever on Twitch and started a brand. And, you know, he first started with like his smaller homies who you could just like have organic conversations with on Discord, which is like, you know, Discord or yeah. You know, you could just video call him and just like talk about shit. And then he got the idea like, what if I started like a little dating show on my Discord or some shit, right?
Right.
And so he started reaching out to other girls on the internet who were trying to grow. He already had a smaller bit of a platform, but you know, they saw the number like, oh shit, Kai Cenat with like, you know, at the time was like probably 60,000 followers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like 50,000. You know, they want to go on there, and then you know they had this fun dating show of just like it's funny shit like happens. You know,
if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Mentality, whatever it is, like as long as whatever you're offering is good and it's like has some sort of value for someone,
right?
Then that's all you need, right? Like even just like I show Speed, right?
Yes.
Like he's a wild boy,
yeah.
but at the same time, like he takes you alongside his experiences.
Yeah.
Like he goes to the World Cup and you know takes off his Portugal jersey and immediately has a Messi jersey,
right?
You know,
yes.
so like it's just like things like that where you're like I think like people view creatives or content creators especially as like narcissistic or like in some ways like you should be right like at the end of the day you're looking at yourself at the screen you know
I mean you're looking at so a lot of people will be like, you know, they'll see a certain person with like, you know, obviously carrying a persona or just like a fun energy throughout a stream and like see all the numbers they have and the first reaction they'll get is be like, oh, they're a narcissist, you know, like, oh,
but then you have like Mr. Beast who's like literally building wells in Africa, like he cured like 1,000 blind people or whatever, you know, and he's like he broke it down
saving dogs now and shit,
building schools, you know, and he's
philanthropy,
like he's like you see both spectrums, right? Like obviously like Kai's driving around in a fucking Bugatti or whatever the fuck because he's got it, you know?
Totally,
like
and I Show Speed is like, you know, just like playing games and like talking to his massive crowd that'll always come in on his YouTube lives and doing some fucking just funny shit they would normally do. Like he gets hella pissed at FIFA, like throws his headset, throws his controller, and then he'll run back and just like fucking dive into his computer screen and his camera and everything will fucking fall and everyone loses it, you know?
Can you pass me a beer?
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, no, I think it was just I don't know. I like people who can create culture within culture. Like same with Speed, right? Like what he did was like he went to the World Cup and that was content for him and he got money off of it. But at the same time, like he has such a pull on a mass that like getting Ronaldo's number tatted on him, doing all these things, and then next, you know, going to the World Cup and do like, you know, just like admitting like, you know, whatever the fuck.
There's a video of him meeting Ronaldo, dude. Like,
and he also, and like, like it was like a 2-second clip or whatever, and then he shook hands.
I was just like fucking like.
He also met the president of Portugal, I think, or something like that. Like he was like, it was Cristiano Ronaldo, and then like the president right after.
I'm sure he has a massive like chunk of viewership from Portugal specifically. I bet.
Oh yeah, you know, you're the biggest spokesperson of a country from another country,
right? And Ronaldo's like Portugal's like star child, you know, like their god. Yeah, literally, yeah.
Like I mean, don't get me wrong, Messi's the fucking GOAT. Like I don't give a fuck. Like, hey, Ronaldo, you're good, you know, but Messi got the chip.
And Messi, Ronaldo, when Messi, Ronaldo fans always get into it, right? Like who was the greatest of our time or the most recent time?
It's not debatable anymore. He has a World Cup under his belt. I don't care. Like Cristiano Ronaldo was probably a better athlete, but Messi is a better soccer player.
Dude, I was pumped watching the World Cup, bro.
Dude, this World Cup was insane.
I was rooting so hard for Argentina, bro. Crazy.
Well, not just that, but fucking Morocco did fucking amazing with for a majority no-name team, right? They have obviously they have Hakimi, who blew up more because of his performance, and whatever. But
the coaching and coordination, just the way they approached
they played like a team.
Their opponents.
They played like a team. You know, like everyone in Argentina was playing for Messi to win. Everyone on Portugal were playing for themselves because they want to be the next Cristiano. You know, that's at least what I started seeing. Japan always plays like a team. Because they're fucking kamikaze till we die. You know.
I mean, they have a strong sense of pride. Like we need to do this for Japan, right? Not just like maybe some other teams where it's like, you know, this is gonna be good coverage for myself. I got to do something crazy or whatever, right? Or like make a risky play or something, right?
And like and even like another African African team like Senegal did. They made it like to the top 8. You know, where like their country has never made it that far. You know, so there's like so much shit. Costa Rica beat Afghanistan beat Argentina in the first game. 2-0. Just like crazy shit where you're like, oh shit, this is the downfall of Messi, right? First game, he's down 2. Next thing you know, he fucking comes back, beats Mexico. Fuck you. Like, you know, like scores an amazing goal on us, but like still, like it was just like, dude, as a fan and also as like a Messi fan,
right?
Like,
and as an appreciator of the sport as a whole, right?
IQ, like just I like seeing greatness, and like greatness, like maybe there's flashes of greatness in people, but when you can consistently do something for that long period of time, whether that be in sports or in science or in business or whatever you're amazing at, like I like watching it. Like that's so sick. You know, I don't want to see someone fuck something up. You know, unless they actually like break a bone or something. You know,
you're probably able to have a deeper degree of appreciation for a wider variety of things than other people.
I mean, I think I'm just like very inquisitive.
Nah, that's good.
Yeah, that's a word that I learned this week.
Nice.
I'm doing this thing. My goal, my 2024.
Curious.
My 2024. I bought a dictionary. I know you can just get it on your phone. I get it, but I need a physical thing. Like fuck you. But I'm trying to learn eight new words a week. And be able to like use that in my vernacular as much as possible.
That's a very healthy way to develop your verbal fluidity.
No, dude, I had fucking motherfuckers on the comments being like, and you know, and I was like, fuck you guys. Get that. It's like, dude, I'm just trying. I'm flowing. I'm not. This isn't an essay. Right. You know, I can't just delete the last word. Right. You know, like
it comes, you know, it comes organically or whatever, right? And all the people, like, you know, the grammar Nazis or whatever, like watching the videos be like, dude, you're saying, you know, you're like saying this word a lot, or just like, you know, like you were saying, like, or just other people have like sort of things that, like, for example, with me and my friends back in the day, when we were thinking what to say, we'd always be like, you know, fucking, and we'd always just say fucking and like just kind of carry what we're trying to think of. It's just little things like that, right?
I'm like, all right, motherfuckers, I'll show you. You know, thank you. I need that. I mean,
that's dope, bro. No.
What did Michael Jordan say? I took that personally. Fuck that. But with that said, I mean, okay, so kind of like, were there any like major events in 2023 that like kind of stuck out to you?
Saint-Germain at Halcyon.
Okay.
Yeah. Really,
dude, I really didn't go to many shows.
No,
at all.
Neither did I.
Like, I mean, I did. I mean, shout out to blah blah blah, everyone that I saw and everything. Like, I did go to shows, but like none. Like, I didn't do a festival this year.
Yeah, I wasn't much.
And or if I did, it was a block party at Midway, and I got guest listed. Right. So it didn't feel like I went anywhere. Right. I just went to go see my homie work.
Totally. Yeah. It's dope. Yeah.
But
this past year, you know, I wasn't much of a social butterfly, or like wasn't out as much as say like around 2017, 18, 19, right? But there was like, it was a lot of time for like reflection and self-development for myself. And also just like just locking myself back in a mindset of like having a healthy relationship with my ego and like believing in myself, and like, you know, like that thing clicked in my head. What's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I am talented. Like, what? Like, you know, or just like I do have something that like people want to listen to and shit, right? And so it was kind of like just gaining that side of like myself back to like really drive myself forward, and then. I guess the bigger shows that I went to at the tail end of 2022 were like Mala at the Midway, and like I also went to the Mint. AC Slater set at the Mint.
Okay,
I was there. If you watch that video on YouTube, you will see me, Hunter, and Dante, and Nick various times. Very cool.
Yeah.
And that's also
really sick.
Super sick. I actually love that video because of how simplistic it is. They didn't go crazy with like LED visuals or whatever.
It's a day party always.
Day party, you know? Exactly. And like, you know, just a few good like light colors and maybe like other things, but like it's mostly about the sound, and like, and, you know, especially like AC Slater always brings like that homey sort of night bass, like we want to listen to banging house track vibes, you know. So yeah, it's
kind of like what's the Santa Cruz one?
The Catalyst.
You know, where it's like it's filed in.
Yes.
You have to. This is what you're looking at.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is cool, I guess. Sometimes I get bored at like EDM shows because like it is built that way, and like if they don't have production, then I'm just like I'm just staring at it.
Yeah.
Like I'm short also, so I don't even get the view. I get people, the back of people's heads and shit, you know?
Right.
So,
yeah, no, for sure. Like the production value quality in terms of the visuals, like, you know, when you go, or just like, you know, the ambiance, like, you know, it's, you know, different compared to like, you know, if you're going to like a smaller club that's a bar but has like a cool DJ playing, and then you go all the way up to like, you know, EDC and shit. You
that's
know,
why
the spectrum of that, right?
I like kind of like jaded myself for at a young age going to all these festivals where I got the privilege of seeing production.
Oh yeah,
you know, so like now I'm just like I go to clubs and I'm like the music is awesome. I'm not, that's not a question, but I'm like, okay, well, like I'm just if I'm not bothering someone talking to them and ruining their experience listening to the music, then I'm just staring at, like, I'm like looking through the cracks, you know? Getting my drink spilled. The
struggles of a shorter male, right? Or on the shorter end, right?
Hey, shout out all my short kings.
Yeah,
dude.
short kings are out there. 6 foot plusers, we're gifted, dude, guys. Just be appreciative of what you have and don't be a fucking asshole and a height elitist, okay? And sometimes there's a side of it where it sucks. Shout out Diego Posada. He's fool's fucking 6'9", right? You know, he's hitting his head on. He's hitting head on his shit. He can't fit in certain cars. Like, dude, it gets there.
Dude, I remember him standing up one time and his dick hit me. Like, it was crazy.
Just stood up off the couch and whipped you in the chin.
You see my face? I was like, what?
Oh man, dude, that was huge though. What was I gonna say? Oh, but like, like I think music festivals, maybe I've grown out of it, or I haven't gone to the right ones. Or maybe I'm just so disconnected with the new artists. That are that used to be the fillers.
Yes.
That I would love to go see. Now I'm like, who is this kid?
Right.
Like, what? You know? Like now they're kids, dude.
Right.
It's so weird being, dude. Oh my god, at work they were like, this guy told me how old he was, and I was like, oh my god, I'm a decade older than you. Like Jesus. But it's crazy. Yeah. Like, okay, so 2023. Dude, also, like, I mean, not to, like 2023 in general was so weird structurally for me. Because, I've never put myself out there as much as I have this year. But I also haven't been, as, like, disconnected. But also, just, like, in general, as that's going on, we have... like Biden falling off of bikes. We have like
stumbling down the fucking stair, stumbling down when he's getting off planes and shit.
It's insane. Like it's crazy, and like, you know, he's the one running our country and all this other shit and blah blah blah. And then we have like, I don't even know, like Trump getting like walking into jail and shit. Like, dude, his mugshot is
hard,
dude. I don't agree with him, but he's more gangster than like a lot of rappers.
Dude,
like, dude, that fool just is straight up. I mean, not give a fuck.
Respect for him for like, I guess, like, you know, trying to bring that sort of like different sort of like, you know, he was like obviously more conservative, more right wing or whatever. But I think there was a couple of things that he touched on that, like, you know, some people heard and were like he's really trying to do things differently, or just like really trying to put drive into a different direction. I'm an apolitical person. I don't really involve myself much into politics and whatnot. But
I involve myself only when it's like personal.
Yeah, like when it touches on a topic that, you know, like, you know, for example, like, you know, Trump was fucking, you know, dissing Mexicans and all that, and just immigrants in general, right? But like, you know, especially the whole build the wall.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't agree with the man, but dude, when he went to Puerto Rico and just started flinging toilet paper at people or like paper towels,
that shit,
dude, just like, he's just like a funny human, you know? Like, dude, like I don't understand what goes on in his head, and I don't understand how he got there, but like it is just crazy. Like, have you ever like, I've seen my drunk friends like just be drunk, and I'll just watch them, and I'm across the room just because it's hilarious. I don't agree with his practices, don't get me wrong, but dude, watching him fucking try to maneuver the world.
Dude, Trump was more like he wasn't like a, you know, like he wasn't like all, the presidents before was like, oh, we're keeping it all professional, and you always see this with me. Like, Trump wasn't afraid to say like fucking out of pocket shit, and just like, you kind of, people got more of a sense like this guy's more of like a human up there or whatever the hell, right? And so like that sort of started, like, he became like not only just a politician, but he was a personality as well.
Dude, he would go into press conferences and he'd be like, that's a stupid question.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
No, that's stupid. We're not gonna answer that.
Yeah, like, what the fuck is wrong with this orange Oompa Loompa? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, but it was just hilarious to watch. And like right now we have Biden who can't even like count to 10, you know, and like it's fine, you know.
Dude,
like,
the most recent thing,
like,
the most recent
lost on stage.
Yeah, dude,
you know?
Like one of the funniest things I read on Twitter was just like fucking Biden trying to like piece one sentence together, and the top comment was like, "Oh God, I wonder how much fucking how many stimulants they pumped into him, and just cranked the little wheel behind like a little tinfoil monkey. How many stimulants they put in, just cranked them up and pushed him on the stage."
Sometimes it was like,
Seriously.
dude, like, what's that other Jim McConnell or whatever, the guy who just froze there?
Oh, Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell who just froze there, and I'm like, dude, they need to put a couple more.
They just tapped him, and then he just stopped saying what he was saying and just froze. It's like, I don't know. They said that they like.
Dude, that's on some like what's that?
called?
What's that movie where she hits the teacup? And the sunken place.
That reminds me of like some sort of like some
Black people. What the fuck?
some sort of like AI fucking high upper echelon like weird like Illuminati shit. But like they tap
Yeah.
like some person have like we have nope, he's not saying the right script. Let's tap the other, let's tap this parameter down.
Yeah, there's
Dude,
like
speaking of not saying the right shit, dude, did you see the new Obama movie?
No.
Oh, it's not Obama
no, yeah,
movie,
right,
but he was one of the executives.
Yeah, him and Michelle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's it called?
Leave the World Alone.
Yeah, it was pretty trippy.
And dude, it's executive produced by an ex-president, and the whole thing was how the people who were kind of against are gonna shut off everything with like a touch of a button.
He's warning us, bro. It's almost like he's warning us. Like,
Get
ready, dog.
It's crazy. Like, dude, that movie that was probably my favorite movie of 2023.
Damn, I gotta watch that one.
Yeah,
you gotta watch Godzilla -1.
Oh, dude. Okay, yeah. I do need to watch that. Did you watch it?
Nah.
Dude, from what I hear and from me and Matt, we were talking about it, and it's just like, I didn't watch it because I thought Americans made it.
That's what I thought too.
And I'm like, I don't need that anymore, you know? But then watching or hearing everyone else talk about it, they're like, it's a real story. You know, it almost seems like the way that they were talking about it is the same way that people will talk about anime.
Right.
Where they're like, just watch it. Like, you just gotta watch it, and you're like, you know, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And like, that's, dude, Japanese people are just so fucking good at what they do, you know?
Yeah.
Storytelling.
Yeah. And like,
character development.
I mean, that could even connect to Oppenheimer, you know?
Well, and with Oppenheimer, which is what we touched base on the podcast, where I'm like, I didn't watch it because I know what the Americans did. I want the other side's reaction. And then what Godzilla did, apparently, it was post-nuke.
It was literally like most of the movie takes place like 1945, like right after the nuke, and then like the years following.
Yeah, so it's like it was like it almost felt like it was there. I mean, hearing it and connecting it in my head, I haven't watched the movies, but it just felt like the Japanese were responding to said things.
It's exactly what I thought when I was watching it. It felt like
Oh
that.
wow! I mean, wouldn't it be kind of cool to like if you had a movie night or just like a window of time to binge, like to watch Oppenheimer then watch Godzilla right after?
Right.
Like
Well,
maybe
it's
might
like,
connect in a way.
It's
like,
not. It's not like a full history lesson per se, but it's like it's a call and response, right?
Yeah,
It's like
Hiroshima happened. Yeah.
Exactly. But also just like redocumenting in 4K what you did to us. Yeah. We're gonna respond as to like this is what happened to us afterwards. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, dude. Like, I mean,
people to get a real look. People to get a real look into like what the Japanese people had to go through after that. Right.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. We got Hello Kitty and everything else, and that's pretty cool. But
get cute.
Yeah, you know. But you know, yeah, dude. I don't know. I this year I also like really I started doing more like or watching more like Japanese content or like whatever.
Yeah.
Korean shit also.
Dude, South
Squid
Korea
Games was this year, no?
South Korea.
No. That was like 2 years ago. But also, like Squid Games in general.
Squid Games
like,
is amazing. I watched Squid Games. I didn't see that. I think they released a second season or something like that.
No, they did like a competition thing, which is actually really cool.
Game show.
It's kind of.
I mean, I watched
I liked
episodes. Entertaining, definitely.
Yeah.
Super.
It like.
But apparently, did you hear about the winner that won it? Still hasn't gotten paid because it shot a long time ago.
They were supposed to win $4 million.
Like a lot of money. It was a lot of money.
Like, dude, game shows. Like, if you win the real world challenge, that's $250,000.
Yeah.
That's what those people were literally in mud, hiking, and doing all this shit for $250,000. These people were problem solving.
Yeah.
You know, and they were gonna win $4 million.
Yeah.
You know, like I saw that and I was like, there's no way they're gonna pay her. Like at that point I was like, oh, this is all fake, right? Like also some of them felt very scripted or like they just kind of like jazzed it up a little bit.
I feel like that kind of connects to
the
like
actors.
Mr. Beast's challenges too, or like sometimes you'll have like these crazy like mazes and puzzles people have to get through. And the winner, if they get past this next stage, they're gonna get $500,000.
But they actually do get it. From what I hear, they actually do get it.
Yeah.
I'm sure he
Like
does.
not for like not for and like or if not, he'll be like, oh, you'll win my chocolate factory, or you can sell it back to me and you can get the money.
Yeah.
You know, but at that point he's like, then it's taxed.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like I can't do anything for you. But
Yeah.
like I would also just take the fucking money.
But I mean, connected to you thinking it was scripted, like that Squid Game sort of stuff was scripted. Like a lot of people were in the comments like, dude, this seems really scripted. And the guy took a huge risk that nobody would for like that last amount of money or whatever. But like obviously did it for the content, did it, and like didn't end up winning any money. So like I don't know, maybe like I don't know, maybe something like that.
But
could've
then
been,
sometimes
like,
I look at that and like I'm not there.
yeah.
You know,
Totally,
so like
yeah.
also like
And you know, Mr. Beast has like the fucking like the finances to actually provide that. To
well
people.
also like don't like with the there was like a challenge thing that he did right with a guy where he had to like walk through a beam at certain height, you know, and all this other shit, and like he had to do all these challenges. But throughout the entire video, he Mr. Beast whatever was like telling him like,
Yeah.
well, if you don't do the next challenge, I don't have a video.
Yeah.
But and like he's
for
not
sure,
and like they left that in. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So it was just like
Interesting.
it's like he plays this weird psychology
Yeah,
where I'm like
yeah.
I'm the good guy who's gonna give
Right.
you money if you pass this,
Yeah.
but also
Yeah.
I don't have anything.
Yeah, I need the content here.
yeah. It will also is just like this is your moment for your 15 minutes
Yeah.
of fame.
Yeah,
so
right.
like now like all it's weird like it's a weird thing.
And I wonder, like, you know, like whatever, like if he pushes people to like, you know, go for the next challenge or whatever, maybe the next stage, and if they don't win any money, like I wonder if he establishes something like the royalties or whatever I get from this YouTube video, like maybe you'll get some of it, but
Hell
like you know,
no.
he probably pockets all that shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you sign up,
Yeah.
you sign up for what you sign up
Right,
for. You know,
right.
like
And
maybe
plus,
you
you're
get-
on a Mr. Beast video, people see your face,
also
like
the
that's
people
huge.
at what he said was the people at Squid Games, everyone was getting at least like X amount of money per day, as long as they were there, right? So like he does incentivize in some way, but at the same time, it's just like to scale it down. I've seen videos of like people who just stick out their hand, and then like the first person who shakes their hand, they'll give them $5. You know, like
When you send me that 5, bro.
I ain't got it, but you know, like and it's that thing where it's just like like this is not a normal human interaction, but also now you have a camera in my face, and you're expecting me to do something. You're making me react to something that you want, you know, and yeah, like I mean, obviously in different scales because people who go to Mr. Beast things sign up for that.
Yeah, totally.
Also,
Yeah.
how do you get him?
I think he posts like YouTube story updates or like those little text updates that YouTube creators will post, or like he'll put a tweet out and be like, you know, oh, starting this new like video or whatever, but, you know, reach out to like, you know, this email or whatever you're interested in getting, and that's where people who are like, this is who I am, this is my personality, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think the business side of everything that he does is super interesting.
Yeah,
Like he does help everyone, and it doesn't seem like he has money. Not to say that he doesn't have like something stashed, obviously, you know. And
yeah,
like,
it's kind of cool that he had a vision to like, you know, we're gonna be this like, you know, wholesome sort of like, you know, give back sort of kind of thing, right? But like he had the vision to like follow it all the way through to like to the point where like he got it's one of the biggest, you know, channels on YouTube, and like, you know, started talking to like people like Elon on Twitter and shit like that, right? Like,
and then dude, like I mean, and like speaking of Elon, like what he's done this year in general, he bought Twitter. He was gonna fight fucking Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
like
That would have been dope.
dude.
I
like-
thought that was sick, honestly, because like, dude, Meta is just like the world that like the amount of control that they have over like, you know, the social media space and just the way news is delivered.
Right.
He was like, you know, Elon was just a figure who was like, nah, people need transparency. They need to see things for how the fuck the world really is.
Right.
Instead of this like, you know,
I
this
mean, don't get me
capitalistic
wrong,
blanket they
don't-
paint over shit, right?
Don't get me wrong. I don't. People's intentions are always good.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, you're just creating a new newspaper.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Or like
people are always gonna go like
A-
the
a
New
for-
York
an
Times, is
outlet
the
of
New York
news,
Times,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Like all he's trying to do is just get people to go there, and then who's to say that in 5 years he doesn't all of a sudden have to like cut down? And I was like,
I mean,
well,
Twitter
ads
took a
and-
big toll financially when he took office. Like a lot of people were laid off. He started incorporating more facets or like just more fucking
But also,
things of
okay,
AI.
don't get me wrong. Like,
Happening in the
it's
tech world
awful.
as a
It's
whole.
awful that people got laid off and everything.
right.
But it didn't make a dent in our GDP.
No.
Like,
he was
or
taking
not our
he
GDP.
was taking the losses, like him personally, because
Right.
you know he's
it.
what backs that company.
Yeah.
He's taking, and did he give a shit? No. Like there were big advertisers that were giving Twitter millions to possibly bees like every year, right? And they met with him. We're like, dude, like what the hell are you doing? Like, why aren't you approving our ads and all this stuff? And like, why aren't you letting our stories through or whatever, right? That we pay for.
Yeah.
And that's where he was like, yeah, I'm going with a different direction in X, and like I'm cutting you guys off.
Yeah.
And also, the financial board obviously went fucking crazy. Like, they went up to Elon like, yo, dude, like, we're gonna have to cut a bunch of people if we don't get this money this year. Like, we're gonna have to fucking, like, it was a freak out. A lot of pressure on him, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where he had to be like, sure, he like screwed some people at Twitter over or whatever, but they went off, find jobs in other places,
Dude,
right?
Like literally, I think it was like something like 60,000 people lost their jobs.
Right. Yes.
Like in this entire like year of like the tech bubble bursting apparently.
Yeah.
But it's like where it's post COVID, they realized they don't need you. You were gonna be expendable once they didn't need you as a tax write off.
Right. And plus, once the whole work from home model came through, like they've realized, dude, people are happier when they work from home and they can be just as productive.
Yeah.
So like all the office positions and stuff, like there was a lot of people who was like, we don't really need you anymore.
Yeah. And like, I mean, it sucks to say that people lost their jobs and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. Yeah. But also you went into a field where that was a possibility.
Yeah.
If you were smart enough, you would see that at some point, a computer is going to do your job.
Right. Yeah.
Like at some point.
Right. Yeah. And like, I mean, connecting it to music production or whatever, now there's like fucking AI that makes songs. Literally, right? Like,
it's crazy. I mean, and that's on the music side of the AI like boom that happened with Chat GPT and all this other stuff and the writer's strike that happened this year and everything. Like, dude, it literally, I think people invest in people. They don't, like, people go to Amazon because it's easy. They don't go because of Jeff.
Right.
They actually hate Jeff, but they still will buy everything on Amazon.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who just have a negative connotation towards billionaires in general, right?
I mean, they're also just like, give us some. Like, what
exactly.
The fuck are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
they're thinking like you're in the 0.1% of people, and you can't send me a fucking $100
They're
Venmo.
in the 0.001% of people.
Oh, for sure.
There's fucking maybe
fraction,
like 75 like billionaires in the world,
right? Yeah,
and they're all princes or they're all CEOs of like monopolies, essentially.
Yeah,
and like that's the problem. And don't get me wrong, we
shout
live in
out all
California.
my Arab oil princes.
Yeah, for real. Shout out. Also, Dubai's losing hella money because they are running out of oil and all that shit.
No,
I mean that's why they're kind of like turning it into a touristy hub.
Yeah. Dubai.
Yeah, like Dubai, fucking Qatar, like all these places.
Qatar.
Yeah, like it's just,
a funny thing about Dubai though is because like they tried to like the country Dubai and all these influencers or whatever like who are going to Dubai like Dubai
they're getting shat on.
Oh yeah, dude.
No, all these fucking Instagram thoughts that go out there because a guy sent them over there. Dude, you're getting pissed on like they're gonna treat you like shit, and then you're gonna get a nice little fucking Hermes bag or whatever. But
connecting to that, dude, like all these like girls would come there and be like, oh, I'm gonna join a big company or just like go big on social media because I live in Dubai. I'm gonna do cool stuff every day. And then once they actually get there, they'll be like, oh, like it's really fucking expensive here. Like, whoa, like what the hell?
Yeah.
And things like that, right? And they were trying to give it off as like, it's the American dream no longer exists. It's the Dubai dream. Like this is where you should come for like, but
they'll
get in there.
No. I mean, to kind of like touch base on like what you're saying, like I think like I think the biggest rebrand that people like of like 2023 were like low-key Muslims. Like, dude,
Wallahi.
Like, dude, yeah, like, dude, it was insane. Like, even just talking about like YouTubers and everything, right? There's like Chunks, right, and Fuzi and all these other people who are Muslim and all this other shit. Plus, they had the World Cup there. They put the little thing on Messi when he got the guy who put that on. There's never supposed to be two people on the stage. It's always just supposed to be the president handing the trophy over. Yeah. But then the Qatar was just like, no, I'm walking out with you, regardless. Yeah. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna kill you. You know what I mean? And like that was like that wasn't supposed to happen.
Right.
But like it was just like this rebrand of like re-emergence in like culture. And like there was a lot of that in 2023. I think like the downfall of like how we view the American flag versus how we view Eastern stuff is so drastically different.
Eastern and Western hemispheres.
Like it's crazy because I think more people are like into spirituality and like individualism,
right?
Or like being the perfect person.
Yeah, just spiritual identity development sort of stuff, right? Yeah,
and then also just like being the best at one thing, right? Like I think that's what COVID did, was just like everyone focused on one thing.
Yeah,
like Matt did all this post COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
though.
like the amount of producers that came out of COVID, the amount of like blah 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 that came out of COVID, it was just like a individualist mindset, but a perfectionist mindset, which is not bad.
It's kind of crazy because like 2020, like for a lot of people started like a new hobby or just like a new lane for themselves, but also a lot of people who were successful in that lane, 2020 hit and they got
canceled.
They got canceled for one. Different people in the industry got canceled, and just a lot of people like had to walk away, or just like it wasn't there for that 1 second and they walked away from that scene.
Right.
I don't know. Dub Loads is a guy for that. I know. For example, I think she's coming back. I feel like Excision.
Billy Kenny.
Billy. That was the name I was looking for right there. Yeah, Billy Kenny, man.
Hey, man. I don't know, man. I know a lot of people who don't have millions of dollars or don't tour who have a secret family. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I think the essay that he is allegedly accused of is horrible. But everyone was bitching about the kid.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe I'm just an asshole or whatever. But on that note, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you, Bex, aka Real Nice,
absolutely,
aka
brother. Absolutely.
Christian.Serrato.
Christian.Serrato, Real Nice.
Dude, how many AKAs do I need to drop?
Bex4k on Twitch.
Oh God, damn
Bex4. There's a third, dude.
Yeah. But speaking of Twitch, do you want to promote all your stuff where they can find you?
Oh yeah, so y'all can find me on twitch.tv/Bex4k. I get on there and I'll just like sort of play some music, get ready a little bit, and then like I'll come on camera, talk game, make music. I'll even DJ sometimes in my room, just like and I won't like. Sometimes I'll make it more of like an experience thing where they come in to watch it, or a lot of times I'll make it like an educational thing where like I'm looking at chat and really like they talk about like how'd you make that mix in right there, like how or like how'd you make your kick drum pop in this mix so much, and I love to like break it down and explain it for them step by step. So it's like a cool educational thing too, so you can just come by, watch me game, do whatever silly shit that I do with my buddies, but like also come and learn something. Like, and not only do I talk about like production, DJing, and creating brands for yourself and whatever, how to monetize yourself in today's digital world, but also just like spiritual development, personal development stuff. I love having deeper conversations with my chat, and there's actually been some really cool numbers of people that have helped through that to that platform, and like I get a deep sense of just like I get a deep sense of just like I've helped someone like work out something in their head, or just like I've helped someone process something that they were like hung up on, or just like they really know that was bothering them subconsciously, right? Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
No, it's dope. I think that's awesome. But for me, you guys can find me at George.Daniel __. Our beautiful co-host Ashley. Ashley, that's me with 3 E's, I think. And then you can find Matt if you guys want to do podcasts or anything. Hit up Matt. I think it's at Matthew Talbot on Instagram. So go ahead, find all of us. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us out in the algorithm and boost everything. So stay tuned. 2024, we're gonna be busy.
Like, subscribe, comment. It helps our boy out.
All right, guys. We love you and peace.
By the way,